I don't think the Dodgers have gotten a single piece of good pitching news this year. Seriously. This team's pitching staff has been so riddled with the injury bug and it's gotten completely out of hand. It's beyond the point of breaking. It's shattered. The question now is how far the Dodgers can go with the scraps that they're left with. And I don't even mean scraps in a bad way. More so just the fact that so many of the guys pitching for them are now guys who originally were not in the cards to do so. And even the ones who were aren't at full power, like Yoshinobu Yamamoto, for example. He's back, but who's to say at any moment he won't be right back on the shelf? So even the notable guys have to be managed so carefully, and it's just honestly been a continuous nightmare that the team has had to deal with, from manager Dave Roberts to the training staff to the guys up top making roster moves to figure out how to maneuver through it all. Just crazy. And as if things didn't look any bleaker already with the pitching, the Dodgers just got what might actually be the toughest pitching news of the season. Now that is a high bar to reach, but I think this does it considering the context and timing of it, especially. Really quick, if you're alive, like the video and subscribe if you haven't yet, or just wait to see if you enjoy the video and then make a decision. That works too. The talk of the Dodgers heading into the season was Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto for obvious reasons, but they also added Tyler Glasnow, someone who has been known to throw hard with nasty stuff, but held back and not able to reach his full potential due to injuries. That's a good arm to add, except there's just a little worrisome factor that comes with it. The fact that he hasn't been able to reach his full potential due to injuries. That's it. That's the con. And it's interesting because Glasnow's arm issues can be traced back to the sticky stuff situation in 2021 when Major League Baseball decided to go cold turkey on how soft they were on pitchers using any sort of foreign substances. And since then, the umpires have been doing constant checks to make sure there's nothing sticky on anyone's hands. This is normal now, but right when it was becoming a thing, Glasnow had to go on the injured list after being diagnosed with partial tears in his UCL along with a flexor strain in his right elbow. And when discussing the injury, attributed it to the change of routine he had to go through because of MLB's new crackdown. Basically saying that the new way he had to grip the ball and go about things caused his muscles to work in different ways and hurt himself. Watch what he said.
I 100% believe that contributed to me getting hurt. No doubt, without a doubt. I think it's ridiculous. I have used sticky stuff before. It's ridiculous that it seems like this whole public perception of oh, it's just select few people. Your favorite pitcher probably 50 years ago was using something too. If you felt these balls, how inconsistent they were, you have to use something. In the past, my substance of choice is sunscreen and rosin. Just nothing egregious, something to where I can get a grip on the ball so it doesn't feel dusty. But 2 starts ago against the Nationals, I went cold turkey, nothing. And before that start, I remember when all this stuff came out, I was talking to people and talking to doctors, and they were like, the thing that maybe MLB doesn't realize or that players don't realize is what is the injury, what is the prevention of maybe it'll add to injuries. And in my mind, I was like, that sounds dumb. That sounds like an excuse a player would use to make sure he can use sticky stuff. But I threw to the Nationals with nothing. I don't use sticky stuff I don't use spider tack. I don't need more spin. I have huge hands. I spin the ball fine. I want grip. I did well against the Nationals, probably one of the best starts I had all year. I woke up the next day and was like, I am sore in places that I didn't even know I had muscles in. I felt completely different. I switched my fastball grip and my curveball grip. I've thrown it the same way for however many years I've played baseball. I had to put my fastball deeper into my hand and grip it way harder. And I had to, instead of holding my curveball at the tip of my fingers, I had to dig it deeper into my hand. So I'm choking the shit out of all my pitches. My cue I used to use with Snyder was hold the ball like an egg, nice and loose, be loose. That's out of the window. So I now have to develop a new cue. I have to develop something where I can't hold the ball light anymore. I have to dig it deep into my hand. So I'm taking it, and you have to think, I'm not a doctor. I know you guys probably know that. But I'm taking a fastball, I'm squeezing the ball twice as hard. So all of this is I'm recruiting all these muscles.
He soon ended up getting Tommy John surgery, missing all of 2021 and most of 2022 before pitching the most innings of his career in 2023, despite missing the beginning because of an oblique injury. 120 innings. That was his career high. So naturally, the Dodgers were getting a good pitcher, of course, but there was also plenty of reason to at least be a little concerned about how reliable he'd be health-wise. Now, here's another interesting but important piece of context for Glasnow's arm issues. It's the fact that he never actually had Tommy John surgery because his elbow injury wasn't a typical elbow injury. His UCL was never fully torn, which is what Tommy John is for, to fix a torn UCL. No, Glasnow's UCL was actually detached from his bone, and it was never actually fully figured out until 2021. So skip ahead to 2024, and Glasnow is the ace of the Dodgers, with that all being fixed. and he's nasty as hell. Basically, pretty much what you'd expect Tyler Glasnow to look like at full strength, striking a ton of guys out, putting up good start after good start, and on pace to blow right past his previous career high in innings, which he ended up doing, becoming an all-star for the first time. I mean, everything was coming up Tyler Glasnow until we realized he wasn't immune to the Dodger pitching injury bug. Nobody is. After being very consistent to take the ball for the Dodgers this season, Glasnow has been on the injured list since August 11th due to elbow tendonitis. Not ideal, and obviously anything with the elbow is horrifying, but he was still expected to come back. But during a recent throwing session where he was warming up for a 2 to 3 inning simulated game in Atlanta, which was expected to be his last step before rejoining the Dodgers rotation, Glasnow started feeling elbow discomfort, and after some testing, it's been revealed that Glasnow has a sprained right elbow and is highly unlikely to return this season. The concern is that he might have damaged his UCL. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts said Glasnow's UCL is intact, but what the diagnosis of a sprained elbow usually means is that the ligament has gotten at least some damage. And remember, Glasnow never actually fully tore his UCL. It was just off the bone and had to be reconnected. So Glasnow hasn't fully teared it yet. He didn't have Tommy John surgery or any elbow reconstruction surgery other than getting it back on the bone. Maybe this is when it's happening. Maybe it's going to tear, which would suck. And whatever the case is, this whole thing just sucks for the Dodgers and for baseball overall, because Glasnow's fun to watch for anybody, I guess, unless he's facing your team. Things have never looked bleaker for the playoffs for a team that already has a bad reputation in the playoffs. Prayers up, Dodgers fans. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.